Well, welcome back. This is the third of 3 videos looking at the risk management lifecycle model. And as you can see, here's the figure from the book where we're talking about risk management lifecycle, starting with resource profiling, moving into assessing the risk, then into making decisions about the risk through risk evaluation, documenting those decisions, mitigating the risk, validating the controls that are in place, and then monitoring, auditing to make sure that all of that stays in place. So as you look at this risk management life cycle, if we were in the classroom, we'd move into an in-class exercise by going to the Information is Beautiful, world's biggest data hacks. If you haven't been there, it's a wonderful site. Look at the different types of attacks out there, apply the risk management workflow to a particular scenario, and then what you're trying to do is deduce where the failures occurred in the workflow that allow the hack to be successful. Feel free to go and do that, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward and talk a little bit about process ownership, because as you look at each of these steps of profiling, assessment, evaluation, document, mitigation, validation, and then monitoring and auditing, the question becomes who's in charge, who's doing what to whom. And in this particular case, you can see that it's a mix of the business owner, information security, and the resource custodian. And so for the resource profiling, that asset profiling, there are automated tools that can help you do this. And the business owner is probably not going to run those automated tools. Information security or IT is going to run the tools. And then the business owner is going to validate that and then add information to it. But the resources are actually owned by the business. They're not owned by information security. And so doing that profiling is a step that the business owner should do. Making that risk assessment, however, is where it passes back to information security, and they've got to look at what are the vulnerabilities, what are the threats, what's the resultant risk that comes from that. Then together with the business owner, information security and the business owner sit down together to reach a decision. And you're going to have some process of who's the ultimate decision maker and who makes one of those 4 decisions of, are we going to mitigate the risk, avoid the risk, accept the risk, or transfer the risk. From there, we have to document it. Again, that's jointly done. The actual risk mitigation, where you're implementing new controls, is going to go back to whoever the resource custodian is for that particular system. And then from there, information security typically is doing the validating, and information security to a larger extent than the business owner is doing the monitoring and the auditing. So again, as you look at the overall process for risk management lifecycle, you've got a lot of different groups involved with this. It requires partnership, it requires some shared governance, and it requires some documented processes to navigate through this. All right, well, very good. This concludes the third of 3 videos looking at Wheeler's most excellent book on risk management in Chapter 3 specifically. What we're going to do in the next chapter is dig deep into risk profiling, resource profiling, asset profiling. You can use any of those 3 terms, but that's what we're going to get into. So keep on studying, and I look forward to seeing you in Chapter 4.